and other films, the writer-director Lawrence Kasdan.
We're going to take this movie out again, I think. I'd like to introduce the people that made this movie, and a lot of them are here tonight. And in no particular order. This is my chair here. First, Meg Tilly, my wife, she was the music consultant on the soundtrack.
All right.
I can't say enough about these actors. Tonight I was just sort of wondering at them, and everything I love about this movie is in their faces. It's never in the lines. It's always what they do. It's in the reaction shots. I fell in love with them all again, and I never really had fallen out. So please welcome Tom Berenger. Watching it tonight, I was thinking, damn, this woman is really brave. The hardest part in the whole movie, JoBeth Williams. I was stunned once again to see someone I haven't seen in a long time and who I adore, Meg Tilly. Producer of the film, and I was writing another movie, and I met this man. He was across the hall, and I said, we used to go to lunch, and I said, you want to do my next movie? I've got an idea for it, and that was Michael Schoenberg. Michael was the producer, but there's someone here who the movie would not have been made if it weren't for her. She has one of the most illustrious careers in Hollywood, and when no one wanted to make this movie, she fought for it. Please welcome Marcia Nasatir. When I was thinking about doing this, I thought I don't want to write this alone because I'm not good enough, but I know someone who is good enough. And I had known her socially, and we were friends, and I went to Barbara Benedek and I said, do this with me, please. And she thought about it a little while, but then she agreed, and I'm so glad. Barbara Benedek. We were watching this documentary that's on the disc. I just wanted to familiarize myself with the movie. I had forgotten it completely. Both Glenn and JoBeth said, you know, I really wanted to play the other part. And I think I understand that, and it was a good part, but I think somebody knocked it out of the park. Mary Kay Place. Now you know how I feel. It was just pure real pleasure making this movie, and this is why. This next guy has been in almost all my movies. I can't get enough of him. He's one of the great actors that ever lived, and one of the funniest too, Kevin Kline. He would never take the attention away from anybody else. And finally, as you know, one of my favorite actors in the world, and she did me such a favor by doing this part, the beautiful Glenn Close.
It's hard to know where to begin. A couple of things that I thought, looking at the film again tonight. First of all, Larry, is that two of yours and Meg's kids that are in the film are now filmmakers themselves. We see one in the bathtub at the beginning, and the other asking Tom for his autograph at the funeral. And another, as we learned earlier tonight, that Meg Tilly is now a grandmother herself. The characters in the movie are completely timeless. Seeing it again is like seeing it for the first time. So maybe the place to start is if you and Barbara can take us back a little bit to the origins and what made you want to write a movie on this subject. As somebody puts it so succinctly in the film, who'd ever think we'd make so much bread, two revolutionaries?
Well, what made me want to write the movie is one afternoon Larry Kasdan, who was, the most famous writer in the country at the time, called me up and said, I want to do a movie called The Big Chill about a group of friends from Michigan who get together at a reunion when one of their colleagues dies. And I thought, yeah. And we got together and we sat and talked about a lot of the themes that were of interest to him based on our experiences. And I said, but I didn't go to the University of Michigan, and I don't even have any old friends from my college. But it was about the present. So that's how I got into it, and I'll let
Well, I'm wondering, is the characters for you, since Barbara didn't go to the University of Michigan or stay in touch with any of her college friends, were based or modeled on actual people from your own life?
There are echoes of people I knew. There are composites of people I knew. We tried to make it as specific as possible, so that yes, they were drawn very specifically from people we knew and things they did, and didn't want to generalize in any way. And hopefully, if we made it specific enough, there would be some universality.
Now, you had just directed Body Heat shortly before this. You had written on Empire Strikes Back and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and yet, you would think the floodgates would have been open to you, yet this was not an easy picture to get made. So how did you get it made?
It's true, and after Body Heat, there was a lot of interest in working with me, but the studios did not understand it. They didn't say, how could there be 7 protagonists? It's impossible. The audience won't know who to root for. It's too complicated. Also, the subject matter was not exactly in their wheelhouse. In fact, the head of Columbia said to me after the first public screening we had, which was the test screening in Seattle, he came out and said, I had no idea this was a comedy. That was probably the problem. And if it weren't for Marcia Nasatir can't be